Today, I want to talk about great leadership. Now, leadership is the art or act of motivating people towards achieving common goals or objectives. It is the capacity to motivate people to achieve common goals. We have so many leaders in the various facets of our lives, be it at an individual level, family level, community level, in churches, in companies, or even in nations. But I must, however, point out that being a leader does not automatically mean that you have got great leadership. It does not automatically mean that you have got great leadership qualities. This explains why we have failed individuals, failed families or broken families, failed communities, failed churches, failed companies, or even failed nations. If you look around, you can pinpoint companies, churches, families that you have seen, or nations that are broken because they've got leaders who do not have great leadership qualities. Now, there are several qualities that make a great leader or great leadership. I have a list here. It might not be exhaustive, but it is broad enough to help us understand great leadership. Some of these qualities are being purposeful. A great leader is one who is purposeful, who knows why they are in the positions that they are, who knows what they are supposed to do, who have got a mission and pursue that mission. The second quality is transparency, being open about what you are doing, your lifestyle, everything. The other quality is being accountable. You have to be responsible. You have to take responsibility for your actions, whether right or wrong. If you are wrong, you accept that I'm wrong. If you are right, you take the credit for the right things you are doing. That's what a great leader does. The other one is empathy. You have to be empathetic before you take any decisions. Think about the impact they will have to the next person. Put yourself in the shoes of that person. If you feel okay about it, then know it's right. That's what great leadership does. The other one is grit, having the guts to take bold and necessary decisions regardless of the fact that they are popular or not, but having the courage to take those decisions because they are for the common good. The last one I have is the ability to empower those under you, those below you, the ability to create future leaders. To me, this is one of the most important because people cannot learn from you. You cannot create future good leaders if you are not purposeful, if you are not transparent, if you are not accountable, if you are not empathetic, and if you do not have the courage to take bold decisions. So it kind of encompasses everything that I've said. And I would like to focus on this one, the ability to groom others. And as is usual, my messages are grounded in the Bible, the Word of God, because it is the standard of my life. And if we look in the Bible, there are so many examples of great leaders who had great leadership qualities. One of such leaders is Jesus Christ himself. He showed great leadership. He was a great leader. You know, he managed to group people who were like him, people whom he allowed to do what he was doing. He did not feel threatened by those who were under him, by those who were following him. He actually encouraged them to do better than him. That's great leadership. Now, as a point of reference, I will read from the book of John chapter 14, from verse 12 to 14. I shall read John 14 from verse 12. Verse number 12. I tell you the truth, anyone who believes in me will do the same works I have done, and even greater works, because I'm going to be with the Father. On 13, you can ask for anything in my name, and I will do it, so that the Son can bring glory to the Father. On 14, ask me for anything in my name, and I will do it. There are things in these scriptures that show that Jesus was a great leader. We will start from verse 12, where he says, I tell you the truth, anyone who believes in me will do the same works that I have done. The first thing there is Jesus' leadership was grounded in works. Whatever he wanted his disciples to learn, whatever he wanted people around him to learn, he would show it by works. That's why he said, the works I have done. He was not someone who would speak, do as I say. No, he would lead by example. He will be at the forefront, showing them how it is done, showing them how to cast out demons, showing them how to preach, showing them how to deal with issues, showing them how to deal with other leaders of the community. Thus, besides talking, his disciples would see how things are done. And that alone would be great in grooming future leaders. But on top of that, he wishes them to do what he is doing. Now, in this world, in this day and age, you find people who do not want their subordinates to know how to do their job. If they are on leave, their office is locked. If they are not around, things will not move. How can you be a great leader if you have got such a quality? How can you groom good leaders or better leaders than you, who can take your company, your family, your church forward, if you do not allow them to do what you are doing, if you do not show them how it is done? Here Jesus showed them how it was done. That's why he was saying, anyone who believes in him will do the same works that he was doing. He actually wished for them to do what he was doing. He was not threatened. Now, in our companies, in our various facets of our lives, some people do not even want, they feel threatened if someone who their subordinate want to learn to better themselves, because they feel threatened that they will take over. But actually, if you are a leader, you should prepare for someone to take over, because it will eventually happen, whether you like it or not. On verse number 13, he says, you can ask for anything in my name and I will do it. Jesus is presenting himself that I'm ready to support you. Ask for anything, any information you want. Any information you want. I'm here to support you. Anything you want, I'm here to support you. Any questions you have, I'm ready to answer them fully. That's a great leader. If we do that in our families, to give our kids opportunities to ask for anything and be ready to support them all the time, we will groom great leaders who can also build strong families. If we do that in our churches, we will build churches that do not die with the leader, the founder. If we do that in our companies, we will build perpetual companies which continue to grow in leaps and bounds. If we do that in our nations, we will build prosperous nations, not nations which die with the founding fathers, not nations which suffer because of poor leadership and dictatorships of those people who are on top and are heartless, selfish, corrupt, not transparent, not accountable. They blame everyone else except themselves for misfortunes that befall nations. Do you think you groom better leaders if you're like that? That's not great leadership. Jesus said, you will do greater works. He's wishing for his disciples to do greater works. Do you wish for your kids to do better than you? Do you wish for your subordinates to do better than you? Do you wish for your citizens to do better than you? If so, give them information. Show them how it is done. Shun corruption. Shun all the ills. Lead by example. Be accountable. Be transparent. Be empathetic. Feel for others. Have the courage to make bold decisions when they are due. On 14, before we move to 14, the second part of 13, Jesus is saying, you can ask for anything in my name and I will do it, so that the Son can bring glory to his Father. A great leader is one who is accountable to those below him and those above him. Those below her and those above her. Jesus wanted his disciples to do well, but he also remembered that he had come to fulfill what he had been sent to do by his Father. If you are given a position of leadership, say as a nation's leader, there are people who have deployed you on that position, the electorate. Are you doing what they sent you to do there? Are you doing what they expected you to do there when they trust you there? If you are not, you're not a great leader. I would rather be a great leader. I wish to be a great leader. And I hope you also wish to be a great leader wherever you are leading. Take it upon yourself. Let it be a challenge to say, no, if I have been doing wrong, I now want to correct myself. I now want to take a new path where I become a good leader, where I am someone who can do things that can make better persons out of me. It doesn't help to take all the credit. No. Jesus would sometimes send his disciples to go and cast out demons, to go and preach. He did not want to take all the credit for himself, because he wanted them to take over. So he wanted to see. Now, some leaders, they do not even want their subordinates to exercise or to act in their positions or to delegate so that they can do. They want to do everything themselves. At the end of the day, you mess up. You overwork yourself. And at the end of the day, you don't do it well because you are all over. Why don't you delegate? Delegate. As you delegate, you are training people. You are training them to be leaders, to do what you are doing, to take over after you. Now, if you do good, you groom good leaders. If you do bad, you groom bad leaders. Is that the legacy that you want? He raised murderers. She raised prostitutes. She raised murderers. He raised prostitutes. Is that what you want? He raised dictators. She raised dictators. He raised fake prophets. She raised fake prophets. Is that what you want? Is that the legacy that you want? Jesus did not raise fake disciples. He raised real disciples who stood to death for the gospel. And they even did better as he promised. So my friends, think twice. Are you showing great leadership wherever you are leading, as an individual, as a family person, as a church person, as a community person, and as a national? Self-introspection is important because we need a good society. We need good families. We need good companies. We need good churches. We need good nations. Let's groom leaders who can do better than us. Let us be open. Let us not feel threatened. We want good legacies. But that can only be done if we, when we are in leadership positions, we do good. We show great leadership. I would rather be a great leader who grooms people who do better than me than to die with my leadership. Think about it. Where you need to correct, correct. It's never too late to turn around and correct things. Thank you for